Well, hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. So glad you're here with all of us. For those of you who are new to this call, my name is Kelly Colodny, and I've been channeling the Angel Raphael for 33 years. And we're going to have a live channeling today and connect with our I am that I am. So yeah, a lot of people are commenting here. I had a live today that was spontaneous with Phil Good and Lori Ladd on Instagram, and that was a lot of fun. Raphael came in. So a couple quick announcements before we get started. As many of you know, I have not done personal readings with the Angel Raphael and years and years and years. But I am giving away one. And so if you want to qualify to win that, go on to my Instagram page, and all the details about how to do that are there. In addition to that, we're giving away some beautiful ceremonial cacao from Guatemala. And we are also giving away I think it's four, maybe it's five, I have to check, I Am Creation courses. The I Am Creation class begins March 11th. You've got 2 more weeks to sign up at the early bird special. It's going to be amazing. We're going to connect with our I Am presence and manifest like this. And I'm going to teach you, along with Casey, sacred angelic vibrational tools that are very powerful for the creation process of joy, vitality, health, abundance, whatever you are wanting, using sacred geometry, working with the ascended masters, letting go of limiting beliefs, and creating in the most uplifting and loving way. So that's a 4-week program packed with information. It is in the mornings on Saturdays and Sundays. If you miss a call, it's not a big deal. Everything's recorded and you get the replay, and you own all the information for a lifetime. And Casey and I are there with you live on Zoom, going through all the ceremonies that we're going to do together, all the processes, live coaching where you'll get to ask us questions directly, and really tapping into a much higher vibrational frequency so that we can birth this new earth and be living our fullest life. So that starts March 11th. And like I say, 2 more weeks at the early bird special price. Okay, so just so this is one of the wands that I'll be giving away. This is my personal wand. It is, you probably can't see how beautiful it is. It's really big, it's heavy. And sorry, hold on. Sorry about that. It is something that I have used in sacred ceremony and in the Starseed class, in working with Merlin, with sacred geometry. And so it's infused with Archangel Michael's energy, Raphael's energy, Merlin's energy, my energy. It's not going to be easy to give it up. So if you are interested in winning that, again, go on Instagram and you'll figure out how to go about that process. And Casey's one's going to is even more beautiful, I have to admit, than mine, and his was also going to be given away. Okay, I think that's everything for announcements. So we're going to get into today's session with Raphael. Let me make sure that my phone does not disturb us again. Casey is my son, for those of you who don't know him, and he will be our host, and he is amazing. All right, so we're all set. So in terms of channeling, I'm going to just close my eyes, connect with Raphael, bring in the energy, and we'll see what transpires. I just want to remind you guys before we start that it is my dream to have 144,000 people someday on this call, where we're all holding love and raining it across the globe. So maybe before I die, it'll happen. That's my dream. So if anybody wants to tell other people to join us, it's a free thing. Just tell them to come on. As delighted as always, we are happy to be here and to talk to all of you in this way. And so perhaps we will just jump right into whatever it is you're wanting to talk about. And after that, we will connect with Saint Germain and Lady Portia to bring in the violet flame of transmutation and being able to clear the energies perhaps that have accumulated in some and many, or perhaps all of your fields that are a bit dense. And as they are transmuted and this begins to lift your energetic field, you begin to attune as we will move through these different portaled energies into the connection with the I am that I am. And so, what is it you are wanting to talk about?
Hi, Raphael. So the first thing that we want to talk about today is the I am presence. And I just want to first clarify for everybody, what is the difference between our I am presence and our higher self?
Well, really, it's just semantics, I guess. It's very much the same on a vibrational level, but when you are saying your higher self, in a sense, you're talking about self, right? You're more contained in the identity of where it is that you are. And when you are speaking of the presence, you're attuning to something beyond that of the self that is identified in this dimension. So you're moving up the octave on a vibrational level, on a higher frequency, perhaps just in the verbiage in which you are using. And it is that the I am presence is receives its supply of connection or energy, in a sense, from creation. It is where creation is pouring its vibration and its energy to the I am presence that is there for you to be connected to and to be a conduit between you and creation itself, allowing you to maintain an identity and an understanding of who you are while you are temporarily here on earth walking through this dimension, and at the same time to be able to begin to more and more embody your I am presence. And the reason that we are so insistent recently of connecting all of you with that presence is that you are evolving at such a rapid pace around the globe and on an energetic level, and that the more you are operating from that higher awareness that is divorcing itself from the sense of self in a way, the greater your capacity and the quickening of your evolution, and the faster the awakening takes place for you personally and collectively. And so if you want to call it your higher self, you may, but there is something on an energetic level in the speaking of the I am that I am and the I am presence that is vibrating at a higher octave that gives you a greater access to creation and to source itself.
Amazing. And so what would you say is a tool that we can use to connect with our I am presence in a more deep way? Like, what's a practical step people can take today to just get that I am presence?
Well, it's very important to get to know it just like you would anyone, and to become acquainted with it and more friendly with it and curious about it. And because you may not be able to physically see it with the eye or the retina and the physicality of the body, but more in the other realms, you may have to begin to talk to it and ask it to show itself to you, in that you can even begin through meditation in the stillness of that moment, or when you are awake, to ask it to come to you and to say, what do you look like? And how old are you? And to get an impression of what it feels like. And when it is, for an example, we have been working very closely with this being, Kelly, to connect with the I am presence. She sees the I am presence, and when she attunes to it, it is of a particular age, younger than who it is she is in this form. For some of you, it may be presenting itself even in a mature age beyond where you are now. It may have a certain characteristic in that it looks very much like you, but in the most perfect aspect of self in which you're fully vital and radiant and vibrating light and love and filled with health and joy and vitality and all of those things. And so you are connecting to it and seeing it, that it is in a sense a part of you that hasn't accumulated any fear or any doubt, any heavy energies, any trauma, any difficulties, any density, any worry, any anxiety, any of that. It's not harboring that. It is completely free of that. It is expanded and it's open, it's vital, and it's filled with, it's radiant. And so begin to utilize the skill sets of the visualization of your imagination to attune to it and to ask it to present itself to you. And you'll start to get a visual of it. And as you begin to visualize it, you might notice what it's wearing. Perhaps it's wearing something flowing and see-through, or perhaps it's wearing something adorned with golden thread and jewels. Perhaps it's not wearing anything at all. Perhaps it's completely luministic. Perhaps it is taller than you are now, or it is smaller or shorter, or whatever it may be. Perhaps its hair is more flowing and longer, and its eyes may be clearer, or maybe your skin may be more radiant or looking different in some way. And you'll begin to create a connection to it. It'll start to form in your third eye. You'll be able to create a connection. And when that connection starts to formulate in your visualization skills and the opening of the pineal gland begins to present itself to you, then you want to start to consciously begin to connect more and more and more to it. And the way that you do that is that you offer it something, you bow to it, and you may even find yourself bowing to it, and you might find, well, that might be odd to be bowing to it, but you're bowing in a sense to self, to the I am presence of who it is you are, that is not caught in the lower densities of where you may find yourself now, and in a great honoring of it as you're opening and expanding your heart. And then we're wanting you to send love to it, to send as much love as you possibly can. And as you send that love to that presence, it begins to expand and expand, and it receives infinite love beyond measure, beyond what you can know from creation itself, for it receives this infinite supply from that. And that energy then is poured to and through and at you, where you then receive that as it is bombarded back at you. And with that, it is very much like what we're talking about with Saint Germain. It is the dissolving then, because it is hitting you at such a high pace, at such a high frequency, that it is breaking down, and it is dislodging, and it is dissolving, and it is unearthing, and it is releasing, and it is transmuting anything within your energetic field, your etheric field, your astral body, your casual body, that needs to be released, so that your connection, your ability to merge more with the I am presence becomes stronger and stronger, until eventually across the globe, collectively, you will fully be stepping into and completely embodying that I am presence, walking in what many of you call the new earth, or the golden age, the age of Aquarius, the space in which you are operating at a new frequency of a complete awakened state of the remembering that you are connected to creation itself, because creation is you. And from that place, anything is possible, for there is no more limitation, for you are not looking to the finite for creation, but you are looking to the infinite for creation, because you are embodying the infinite, because you are embodying the I am, and embodying the I am, you're embodying creation itself, which is infinite. So you're transferring, in a sense, where the mental focus is to the finite of form and matter, to the condensed and contained energy of what you know to be now to a much more expanded space that opens up more flowing energy to be moving in your direction. Now, this has to be done in increments because it's like you don't want to open up a fire hydrant and it be coming at you so fast where the energy is pouring in so quickly that it could actually be hurtful to you, because you have to be in increments, be able to recalibrate and adjust to these new vibrations as you begin to raise yours to meet it. And so what we will be doing in our work together is we will be opening that valve in increments, just at the right notches necessary for the calibration of these new frequencies, for you to start to really not just begin to connect with the I am that I am, but merge with it, embody it, and become it, so that you are a walking, living organism of absolute unconditional love, joy, and radiant light.
So beautiful, Archangel Raphael. And so in terms of how this, we have to let it all in increments. And somebody was just asking here, is it normal to feel tired and warmer in the body than usual as we're merging with this energy and allowing this energy to drop more into the body?
Yes, there are many symptoms that one may feel as you are calibrating to these new frequencies, because you are shedding you're shedding a skin, right, of something that was protecting you, that was familiar, and that you were accustomed to. And so as you are expanding, you're dissolving that, you're wiggling out of that in a sense, and you have to readjust to this new light quotation. Now, this sometimes can create heat in the body. It can create dizziness. It can create all types of different emotions that will, of course, be coming up to be looked at and to be healed. But on a physical level, it can create sometimes disorientation, and it can also create a sense of difficulty focusing, because you're starting to be expanding into a new frequency where the mind is no longer in charge, where you recognize that the mind is there as a tool for you, but it is not what is guiding you. And that can be very disorienting in the mind, in the way you're thinking. Sometimes you'll forget words. Sometimes you'll start to feel like you're losing your memory. Sometimes you might have a difficult time focusing. You might feel off balance. That's because your mind you've been conditioned to believe that the mind is the driving force of your experience and your reality, and you listen to the mind over the heart. But when you realize that the mind is there to be your servant, and the heart, or the I am that I am, is the driving force of your experience, and it begins to take a back seat, some of the faculties of the mind may need time to readjust, and you may notice these things, but they are nothing to be alarmed of. They will not last long term, but it's a recalibration to operating from a new perspective, so that your guiding compass of where you're going, the direction in which you are moving toward in your experience, is being guided from the I am presence, that you are surrendering to it, that you are following it, that you are trusting it, and that you are not feeling as though you have to follow the mind. And in doing so, the mind may have to readjust itself.
Amazing. And so I think a really great question that just came up is, what is the difference between connecting to the I am presence versus connecting directly with source energy?
Well, really, it's the same. It's that because you are in human form, it allows you to have a stepping stone, in a sense, of energy that you feel connected to, that you can have a relationship to, that is still embodied in something that's more recognizable. Now, of course, you can always go direct to source itself, and it really isn't any different than that, other than it's clothed in something that allows you to have a relationship and a communication with, and that you can, in your work with it and in your embodying and connecting to it, it merges with you. So you are stepping into the embodiment or into the shoes of your I am presence, but the I am presence still is holding a sense of individualization and the identity of knowing self enough that you're still operating through the karmic laws of this universe while you are breathing, where when your source itself does not carry any sense at all of individualization whatsoever, because it is expanded source of complete unconditional love that is moving through, in and around you all the time. And that ultimately should always be your endpoint for connection. That is what you're always seeking to attune to. But you're wanting to take that vibration and begin able to embody it in a form that is breathing and alive and has movement here in the earthly plane of this dimension. And so as you merge with the I am presence, that is you stepping into the shoes of source itself, but embodied in a form that still recognizes itself as a being having a human experience in a world of form and matter. And that's all it is. And so when all of you are fully embodying that, you get to have the best of both worlds in a way, because as you fully merge, and sometimes when you leave your body, you move very quickly through many different dimensions, and you simply choose to completely and absolutely merge with source. And you become one with everything. There is no sense of separation or individuality or identity or remembering even of self or name. You are fully merged with that source of love, which is beyond measure and cannot be described with the words I have in your language. But then there sometimes is a calling or a breathing moment in which you choose to breathe into form, into a sphere of energy that begins to drop down in the octaves until it begins to form into a sense of having identity. And it drops and drops and drops and drops into density till it reaches where many of you, what you would call find yourself now, is spirit in form, walking through time and space in linear form. And so you're embodying that source is in, with, and around you, and is your connection at all times, but it gets lost, it gets contracted, it gets separated from remembering what it is. And the stepping stone between fully merging back into that, not having identity, is the I am presence, where I merge with that sense of knowing everything with the infinite again and the infinite supply of all things, but you still get to taste and smell and feel and touch and see and experience what the beauty is of being encased in form and moving through time and space and matter and the senses and having a human experience, but you're doing it in a complete and fully awakened state instead of in a sleeping state.
Yeah, it's so clear and so beautiful, Raphael. And I think something that a lot of people would want to know is that in this process of transitioning into allowing the heart and the I am presence to guide us forward, how do we harness all of that scattered energy that we're starting to feel as the mind is letting go? And how do we trust the heart more fully? What is trust?
Well, trust is surrendering. It is letting go. It is a willingness to know at the depth of your being that you are being held, that you are being cared for, that you're being looked after, that you are fully, completely in the most divine, perfect place, wherever that is in this now moment. And when you let go of, I have to figure this out, I have to solve this problem, I'm worried about that, how is this going to happen? I'm afraid this isn't going to happen. I'm fearful of that. I'm worried about that. I don't believe in myself. I have doubt that this is true. All of those things hinder you from connecting with your I am presence. They keep you blocked because the mind and the ego takes a grip and begins to take the reins again and becomes in the driver's seat. And so you have to operate by the laws of the human experience, and that it can bring a lot of joy, and you can learn a lot of things, and there's a lot to be seen and understood through that process. And you collectively have been doing that for a long time. There's very few of you who have fully dropped those reins and fully let go and surrendered and said, all right, I am yours to my I am presence. I surrender completely and absolutely to follow in your steps, to embody and to open up to how things are going to shift and unfold. Now, don't get that confused with you're just going to sit around and see what happens and whatever unfolds occurs. It is a combination of having intent of the direction you are wanting to go in, and then opening up and surrendering and allowing that to take place. And also in the saying yes to life as life shows up for you, and asking, especially if you have a decision to make about something, you can even ask your I am that I am presence to a deadline. I have to make this very important decision and I'm not clear, and I'm surrendering and turning it over to my I am presence to guide me, and that by Monday afternoon it will be clear. And it will be in your willingness to fully, completely trust in that. And so it is taking baby steps. You can do little things like that. You can maybe perhaps around a decision or something and turn it over and ask it to show it to you, to trust in it, and it will. And then you'll begin to gain more confidence in it, and you'll say, oh, wow, that worked. Now I'm going to let go and trust you to the next thing and the next thing, until you're fully just embodying and being fully emerge with the I am that I am, and it is your guiding light. You and it are no longer separate, but you are working in unison together in a way in which you are fully allowing the higher aspect of the I am presence to be your guiding light.
That's so beautiful, and such an important message for us all to hear in terms of surrender. But in terms of creating and trusting, where is the balance between, when we're creating our own reality, what is the balance between surrendering and trusting and taking action and doing?
Oh, well, really in the surrendering, you're actually taking the greatest action, because it takes a great willingness to surrender. And when you fully, completely let go and surrender, you're going to begin to move. Movement is going to be able to come in. It's sort of like if a leaf was going down the river and it got stuck, right? It's there's no movement, but it is, perhaps that's not a best example. It is that you have to, it is in the surrendering of it that you begin to flow, you begin to let go, and you begin to move with wherever it's taking you. But where it's taking you, then you have to take the opportunity that it shows you. You have to say yes to life. So you may be feeling guided to go somewhere or to do something, and you're laying around, let's say, at a beach chair, and then someone comes over and says that they want to show you something, or to come to a concert, or to do something. Then you have to begin to attune to your I am presence. Is this in alignment? And continuously follow the path of what it's showing you. Take the steps to say more yes to life as life is presenting itself to you. For instance, an example would be of it's a combining of letting go and trusting, but then it is that something in the past that you may have been fearful of or hesitant to do or afraid of, that you just jump in and you get your feet wet and you let go and you surrender. So you're not just surrendering to life in the sense of I'm surrendering to my I am presence to guide me where I need to go, but you are surrendering, double down surrendering in a sense. When the presence then shows you an opportunity, you are surrendering any fear that you have to take that opportunity and to go with it, to allow it to move with you and to flow through you, rather than to be contracted or resistant, which is actually saying no to life. So it's a lot more about utilizing your action steps in saying yes to life than it is anything else. And then, of course, you can strengthen the muscle of your visualization and bring that into play around what you are wanting to create, but then surrendering is to how that creation is going to take place, because you may have an idea that it will unfold in one way, and no doubtedly often your I am presence will guide you in another way that is more profound, more opening, more quickly connecting you to what you are wanting to create, but it may not be in the direction that you had originally intended. And that is where it is the willingness to surrender. So the action steps and the surrendering both embody and encompass surrendering. Even the action is surrendering. The surrendering to let go of what inhibits you or that you are afraid of, and to go and sing that karaoke song if your voice is terrible. It's that kind of letting go and surrendering, but that also is taking an action. And there is an action in singing the song. And so that is what it is. It's connecting both of those together as opportunities are presented to you.
Absolutely. And I think a really key point there is that we're surrendering to the process. We're surrendering and saying yes to life based on the discernment that we have from our heart that is connected to our I am presence. So it's not that we're surrendering to everything all the time. It's we're surrendering to the I am presence, to the things that are being guided to us that we have discernment about. And so a lot of people have a lot of fear around surrendering to others and things outside of self, because they might have a mistrust of people. They might not want to depend on others because there have been in the past covert contracts or traumas or things like that. And I was wondering if we could work with Saint Germain today and the Violet Flame to transmute that fear, to transmute that anxiety within inside people, so that the I am presence has more room in the heart, and we can have greater discernment and a greater ability to trust and say yes to life that the I am presence is presenting us.
Oh, well, of course. And it is that the tool of the Violet Flame is accessible to all of you all the time. It is free and it is always there, as is your I am that I am presence. And so it is about you taking an action step to ask for it, to connect with you, or to use it. So we can use it today, and we can guide you there. And Saint Germain, as you know, is very connected to Mount Shasta. And so we can go into the mountain and into Telos and utilize the Violet Flame to transmute and alchemize any discordant energies that perhaps are still laying dormant within your being that you are ready to let go of. And there has to, of course, be a willingness to let it go. So with that, we can travel together there now. And we are asking all of you to close your eyes, and in closing your eyes, to take a nice deep breath all the way in and let go. And another one all the way in. And let go. And it is that Saint Germain is very here and present, as his energy is embedded as the Maltese cross is an electronic field of energy imprinted upon him. And it is that he comes to you holding a light body Merkaba in his hand in golden form, wearing a velvet purple robe with golden thread. And he carries the torch of freedom. And he speaks to you today about freeing you from the shackles of your own fear, so that you may be free and expand and open to merge with the I am that I am. For it is at Saint Germain's embodiment in time now, where it is that he is from lifetime after lifetime, is to free those from the shackles of fear and doubt, and to alchemize any energies in which they are willing to let go of, as they may move up into a higher frequency. He is inviting you now into the great city of Telos. And so with that, as you are closing your eyes and they are becoming heavier and heavier and heavier, you may begin to start to smell and to sense the mountain air and the coldness of the air at Mount Shasta now, where the mountains are filled with snow. And the pine trees are strong and tall. You may begin to smell the scent of the pine. And as you are beginning to hover at the top of the mountain, you are looking down at the beauty of the forest and the glistening of the snow and the purple hue that is cast upon it. And as you are doing this, you are being given permission now to enter into Telos. And as this happens, you look down upon the top of the mountain and you see little lights that are moving in and out, for these are beings that are coming and going from Telos. And with that, the opening where the lights are moving like ding, 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 up and down, are beginning to open wider. And as it opens, you see, and it looks like a round platform. And this platform is made of gold, solid gold, and it is very large in its circumference. And you're dropping down now. And as you drop, your bare feet touch this gold platinum energy, this area, this space of a golden disc. And all of you that are here now listening to this, and who will ever listen to this at any time, are connecting now to this golden disc as your feet are tuning to its vibration. And as this occurs, the golden disc is going to open. And with that, you are being invited at this time into the great chambers of Telos beneath the mountain of Mount Shasta. And as this disc begins to open, you feel yourself gently being lowered down, 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 down into the mountain. And as you are being lowered down, you see flickering lights everywhere and very beautiful, tall beings that are walking about, that have crystals as their hearts that are radiating light. And you are in all of this beauty in this city. And as you are beginning to drop even further down, you find yourself beginning to land. And as you are landing, you look down a path. And as you look down the path, you see two beings coming toward you. And as they begin to approach you, you recognize one of them as Saint Germain. He has the most beautiful eyes that are crystal blue, and he is wearing a gorgeous, deep purple robe adorned with golden thread, with a Maltese cross on his chest. And next to him is the beautiful and magnificent Lady Portia. And she is radiating so much love, wearing a pink robe also adorned with gold. And they are together walking toward you, holding the caring, the energy, and the vibration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And they are embodying that for all of you and for the planet as a whole, as they will come forward in our teaching works in the future, in the I am that I am creation work, to create balance within you, utilizing the Vesica Pisces, the place of creation itself, to bring this into full balance. And so to prepare you for that now, they invite you to come with them. As they begin to turn their back to you, you walk with them down this pathway. And as you're walking down the pathway, you see flowers blooming and popping up wherever you walk. And you see gorgeous golden pearl temples everywhere that are like round cylinders that are spinning. And as you walk with them, you come to a large temple that looks like it is amethyst crystal. It is made of amethyst crystal with a large golden door. And as you begin to approach it, the door opens wide, and on either side are beings of light who are protecting this space. They are clearing you right now energetically and preparing you to enter this great temple. And as you begin to walk with Saint Germain and Lady Portia into this temple, you see how gorgeous it is, and that there is an amethyst crystal everywhere, that it is growing. And the entire inside of the temple is glistening with purple and violet ray and energy. And there are violet flowers blooming all about. There is an altar there where Saint Germain and Lady Portia are standing as they are holding a golden chalice. And beneath them, next to you, there is this place to sit. And it is a very soft and velvety cushion. And there is one there for all of you in a circle. You may find yourself now going to any cushion in which you would like and feel comfortable and drawn to as you begin to sit down. And as you sit down, it is that Saint Germain has placed beneath each cushion, underneath each one for each of you, knowing today you would find your way to this moment, to this transmission and this process, the violet flame. And it is that this violet flame is connected at the altar to the great chalice of the great violet flame for all that is being fed for the earth as a whole. But each of you have a piece of it, your individual aspect of it at this time that is being gifted to you. And so when you are feeling ready, Saint Germain may begin to turn the dial and begin to turn on the violet flame. And as he begins to do this, you're going to feel a warmth at the base of your spine and a tingling. And as you feel this tingling, we will only turn it up to the octave in which you're able to receive this release, this transmutation and alchemizing of discordant energy and letting go of density and old things that are no longer serving you. If you wish to, with your intent, you may take any old energies, any suffering, any pain, any trauma, any old belief systems, any old ways of seeing the world, any fear and doubt. And you may ask that in this moment, as the violet flame begins to gradually begin to lift and move up through and around you, up your spine, it begins to transmute this energy. And as it is moving up, you feel a warmth in your abdomen and up your arms and your shoulders, your neck, the back of the mouth of God, the front of your throat chakra, up through and into the pineal gland and out the crown. As this beautiful violet flame energy is transmuting now, releasing and letting go any heavy and dense energies that are no longer serving you. And now begin to feel it coming up from beneath your feet. And as that violet flame becomes even brighter and warmer and stronger, you feel the tingling in your feet and up your ankles as it is clearing and washing away any heaviness. And up the bottom of your feet through the ankles now into the calves and the knees and the thighs. Feel the energy just fully moving up and dissolving any old energies And as it moves into the pelvic floor and into the sacral area, it is going to intensify, releasing any discordant energies of divine masculine or feminine energies that have been out of balance, recalibrating them back to wholeness. Moving up through and recalibrating the energies and vibrations in your power center, realigning you to remember your divine being of powerful light, standing in your power as it clears away any times in which you were not in your power, aligning you with this inner strength, moving up your heart. Clearing away now heartbreak, times when you've been abandoned, when someone has hurt you, there has been a heartbreak in a relationship or grief of one who has passed, clearing away and dissolving this discordant energy as it is moving up now to the shoulders, clearing away the feeling that you have to carry everything. It's all up to you, the burden of the weight of the world on your shoulders, the heaviness behind your neck, and the contracted energy of holding so much tension and stress, as it begins to clear away and dissolve that energy. The violet flame begins to move and twist now, clearing away discordant words that were spoken, words that were not meant to be said, words that came from anger and sorrow and pain, clearing away the discordant energies, opening up space for the truth of the authenticity of who you are, to speak your authentic truth, moving behind and around your neck, up through now into the pineal gland, clearing away any visions or thoughts of fear or doubt that have gotten in the way of worrying about what may be, bringing you into the presence of the center of the now, clearing up and connecting you now all the way into the presence of the I am that I am. As that energy is cleared and transmuted, it is done, and you say, and now, and so it is, that I no longer carry that energy from this day forward, for I'm a clear being of sovereign light, and so it is. And with that, now you may begin to stand up from your chair. Begin to exit the temple as you are being guided by the beautiful Lady Portia. And as you are being guided out of the temple, she looks to you as she is holding something of the balancing of justice. And she says to you, I am balancing now and creating any injustices that have happened to you to be cleared, as I bring back into balance the twin flame of my energy, merge with the great Saint Germain, as you are moving now into a higher octave. And with that, you may follow her back and out through the beautiful city of Telos, looking and seeing the beauty all around. As you come back to where it is that you have entered and the doorway begins to open, you feel a lifting now as you are lifted up and out the mountain back into the cold mountain air, feeling a sense of renewal and a new beginning, knowing that you have been cleared and are ready now to merge with the I am that I am. And with that, now you may begin to return into the form of the body that you've chosen to be in this lifetime, with the name and the understanding of who it is that you believe that you are now, knowing that you can move forward from this day forward, more clear, more radiant, more filled with love, knowing you have left behind and transmuted by the great blessings of the Saint Germain, old and discordant energies that are no longer with you. And so it is.
Amazing, Mama.
Mm.
And that was really profound for me. And I just want to remind everybody, if that was something that you need more of in your life, we're going to be doing a lot of this in the I Am Creation course.
Yeah, so join us, everybody. The I Am Creation. I'm excited. I love you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Remember, these calls are every Sunday at 2 o'clock, and don't forget to enter the contest for a free session with me and a wand and cacao powder and all kinds of stuff that I'm giving away between now and my birthday. And don't forget, you've got 2 weeks left to get the I Am Creation course at the early bird special. All right. I love you guys. Thank you. Spread the word for the free Sunday calls. Tell everybody, please. Okay. 144,000. That's the goal. So we only have 143,600 to go. But we can do it. Totally can do it. All right. Love you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Kelly. Love you.
Thank you.